With contract updates and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Following her successful title defense against Chris Statlander at AEW Full Gear, Mercedes Mone had this to say about competing at the Wrestle Dynasty event for New Japan Pro Wrestling. If I am the TBS champion and New Japan Strong Women's champion, you can expect me at Wrestle Dynasty in Japan at the Tokyo Dome, she confidently declared, adding a nod to her boss, Tony Khan. I'm going to talk to my CEO. We'll have to plan that out. Previously, AEW's Kenny Omega had this to say regarding his in-ring return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, telling Fightful, and I'm sure naturally the next question is, why not AEW first? That is the company that I helped create. That is the company that I'm contracted to. It makes sense. It's tough to answer because why not AEW? There's nothing wrong with AEW at all. I mean, if you watch any of the episodes of our TV recently, everything is flowing like clockwork right now. I feel like there is a spot for all of the hardworking men and women that are on those shows. They've all worked incredibly hard to earn their spots and keep their spots, and I feel like if I just kind of showed up and said, hey guys, I'm back, so one of you are going to have to be done, I just don't want to be that guy. So I feel like when there's an opportunity again, when there's a chance, sure, I'd love to be back if you guys can have me, but right now, I feel like AEW's got a good thing going. I don't think they need me, so I'll make my return for New Japan instead for now. Responding to the notion that AEW doesn't need Omega, Jim Ross noted on his Grilling JR podcast, Kenny Omega is one of the best workers in the world. Seriously. And him saying, well, they don't need me. We don't need the best worker in the world. I think you're wrong there, Kenny. I think that's a blow to me. And maybe that stuff changes. You know, it could change. And that's why the eraser's the most important and vital weapon in wrestling. You erase somebody's name, you put somebody else's name in that spot. So, you know, we'll see. But Kenny Omega is one of my favorites. I'm just selfish. I want my guys to be front and center. I just don't want to lose Kenny Omega permanently from AEW television. He's too good. He's just really, really good. And guys like that don't come along all the time. They don't grow on trees, as the little cliche goes. But they know they don't come along, but only a few times in a lifetime. So you hate to lose a guy that's got that much talent, that much first versatility. Revealing his desire to become world champion, AEW's Dustin Rhodes told WFAA 8, there's one thing that every wrestler, if they don't want this when they get into the business, they don't belong on the business, and that's to become world heavyweight champion. That is the one thing that is missing. I've won many titles from both companies and all kinds of companies across the world, but winning the world heavyweight title puts a feather in your cap. I'm 55. Is it too late? I don't think so. I have 2 belts right now. Dustin 2 belts. Here I am. The ROH Tag Team titles and the World 6-Man Tag Team titles. It happened this year at 55 and I'm just like, wow, the sky is the limit. When you get in the wrestling industry, that should be your number one goal. Of course, you're going to make a lot of money with that. You're going to make a lot of money, period. Anyways, getting into the wrestling industry, and it's great. You take care of your family. You don't have to worry about things, man. But it's an ever-evolving business, and you got to be able to change on the fly and continue your rise of wherever you're going and have that end goal. I don't see an end in sight for me just quite yet. Sting was a big inspiration for that because I was a huge fan of his when he was there. When I met him the first time, I started painting my face because of Sting. To watch him go until he was 60 or 62 years old was amazing, and it was very inspirational. It gives me some hope that I can still go a little bit longer. Recalling when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame the same year as Donald Trump, Mick Foley told Inside the Ropes, "Listen, I don't want to badmouth the WWE Hall of Fame, but I know you know it's funny. I don't know how many people we have here, but I'm thrilled to be here, right? And I was thrilled when we had 101,000 people in Dallas, right? You know, looking around when Steve Austin's music hits, and I just looked around. Everyone's looking at him. I took it all in because I'd never been in front of that many people before and likely never would again. I took it all in, but the last time I was in front of a crowd of that magnitude was the Hall of Fame. The day after the Hall of Fame induction, you know, at the WWE at WrestleMania, they have everyone come out and I had a post-show celebration at a place called Foley's, right? It's 3 blocks from Madison Square Garden. I know some of you know that. I have a son, Mickey, who's on the autism spectrum, and I told WWE, like, he can't travel. We have to stay in New York. We can't stay in Hackensack because if you put my son on a bus 4 hours before the event, he's not going to be there. Like, he can't take crowds and all that. So everyone else had to go back to Hackensack, and I had like a big party by myself. There was like 11 people there, you know, at Foley's, but we had to cut the party short because I had to go get some sleep because I had a 7 a.m. wake up call to rehearse my Hall of Fame walkthrough, you know. And so I swear to you, the only thing I could think of when I walked out there as they go Mick Foley and they're playing to 75,000 people out there, all I could think was they needed to wake me up at 7 a.m. to do this. Like, I'm a New York Times #1 best-selling author. They couldn't have told me what star to stand on. Donald Trump didn't have to get up at 7 a.m. That's all I could think of. I was looking at Trump like he didn't have to wake up at 7 a.m. So I was just inside, and it's more than just the horrible policy, but I held a grudge against Donald Trump for not having to get up at 7 a.m. when I did, kicking me out of my own post-Hall of Fame celebratory party. In a video on X, Jordan Oasis could be seen getting a WWE ID deal.
Two.
That's where we were at.
Okay.
I was in New Mexico too.
Hello everyone. Hello ladies, hello gentlemen. Jordan Oasis, I'd like to talk to you please. So, we think you've got a lot of untapped potential and just the person that could fit very well into the WWE ID program. And so, I'd like to give you a contract.
Wow, I almost don't know what to say, Mr. Regal.
Say something.
Mr. Regal, well, first, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Recently, I had to ask myself why. Why am I doing this? You know, why is very important for what we do, and it's because every time I get in the ring, I feel like I discover a little bit more of myself.
Okay.
And who Jordan Oasis is. Every time I step off a bus into a new city, I feel like I'm that much closer to figuring out who I am. And with this new ID, I'm gonna make the best of this opportunity, but I'm also gonna know exactly who Jordan Oasis is, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Make the most of it.
I will.
Take care.
Let's go, man. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations, dog.
Thank you.
Good stuff, man. You earned that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. We're gonna
Describing the car accident that she was a part of that claimed the life of her father, Jay Briscoe, Gracie Pugh said this in a video on the Central Worship Center's YouTube channel. "We just went to school. It was a normal day, and then after school we went to cheer practice and we got into a car accident on the way to cheer practice. Once we had the car accident, I remember some dude just carrying me out of the car, and then I just remember my sister. I don't remember seeing her. I remember hearing her. I remember seeing my dad in the truck. After that we went to the hospital. hospital. My mom like came in there and she told like how there were so many people there and everyone was praying them already, and I asked where my sister was and she was in the room next to me, and then I just remember going into the next hospital, which is Al. I went into surgery there, and then the next day I woke up. I was really clueless. I didn't know what was happening, but I asked for my phone, and then my mom had to tell like that my dad passed away. I had a spinal cord injury. My sister, she broke her leg. The bone came out of her leg. She broke her collarbone. Something happened to her stomach. She had to undergo surgery for that. So after I found out my dad died and that I may never be able to walk again, the doctor explained to my mom that my back was broke and he could fix my back. Like he could make it look normal again, but it would take a much higher willpower for me to walk again. After a while of therapy, I started to take steps at home, and I took my first few steps, and I knew right then that I could actually like begin to walk again and run again, do what I want. Just make a full recovery overall. I could start to jog again, and then I tried to tumble more, and like even 2 weeks ago, I could go back up on my toes, which I couldn't do for this whole period of time. When it comes to details on the Hurt Syndicate at the AEW Full Gear Media Scrum, Ringside News wrote that MVP stole the show at the AEW Full Gear 2024 Media Scrum, delivering fiery clapbacks and unapologetic control over the press room. But what fans might not know is that this explosive moment was actually months in the making. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, plans for the Hurt Syndicate to dominate a press conference were originally set for October's Wrestle Dream, but were delayed to align with Bobby Lashley's debut. The Hurt Syndicate taking over the presser was almost done in October at Wrestle Dream until the decision to debut Lashley was delayed, Sapp reported. Fast forward to Full Gear, and the delayed plans came to life in spectacular fashion. Following Lashley's brutal win over Swerve Strickland, MVP took over the media scrum with his signature no-nonsense attitude. He shut down reporters with stinging remarks, famously cutting off one question with, "Bobby, that's a dumbass question, man. Don't answer that MVP also grilled a journalist from the Believe Network asking about their credentials before sarcastically allowing them to proceed. And when someone from the Wrestling Observer tried to pose a question, MVP shut them down entirely, declaring, "No, we don't entertain any questions from that nerd." The Hurt Syndicate's media dominance wasn't just an off-the-cuff moment, but a carefully orchestrated plan that had been simmering for months. Lashley's delayed debut at Wrestle Dream gave AEW the perfect opportunity to unleash the faction's powerful presence on the media stage at Full Gear, and it left an unforgettable mark. Asked about pursuing a career in professional wrestling, the son of Bill Goldberg, Gage, told Bill Apter, "I mean, yes and no for sure, because wrestling would be cool, being amped up and everything and having all the adrenaline. But then also I know my place right now is with football, so I'm gonna live this out and see where that takes me. If it doesn't work out, could be wrestling. It's a backup plan." Going over what could be in the future of AEW star Ricky Starks, Ringside News noted that Ricky Starks is keeping fans guessing about his next move, but one thing is clear: AEW gave the green light for his shocking appearance at GCW's Dream On event just hours before AEW Full Gear 2024. Starks, who hasn't appeared on AEW programming since April, lit up the GCW crowd with a fiery promo that addressed his frustrations and hinted at a potential career shift. "I'll be damned if I sit at home and get frozen out," Starks passionately told the GCW audience. "I am 34 years old. I am healthy. I am goddamn good looking. And most importantly, I am a generational superstar." While his GCW booking had fans speculating about his future outside of AEW, it turns out the appearance was fully approved by AEW management. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, AEW not only signed off on Starks' GCW involvement, but also welcomed him backstage at Full Gear later that evening. Ricky Starks was backstage at the pay-per-view, the first time he's been at an AEW event in some time, Johnson reported, adding that Starks was warmly greeted by those backstage. However, there's still no official word on when or if Starks will return to AEW programming. This unexpected development has fans buzzing about Starks' status with AEW, while his GCW promo hinted at dissatisfaction. AEW's willingness to collaborate on his outside booking suggests the company isn't ready to let the self-proclaimed generational superstar slip away just yet. Starks' electrifying presence at both GCW and AEW on the same day has reignited interest in his career trajectory, leaving fans eager to see where he lands next. Mentioning the WWE status of Stephanie McMahon, Ringside News wrote that former WWE co-president Stephanie McMahon was recently seen attending UFC 309 alongside her husband, WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque, and now fans are questioning about what her future looks like with the company. According to a report by PW Insider Elite, Stephanie currently does not have an official role in WWE. However, sources revealed that she was recently spotted at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, sparking speculation that she could be gearing up for a return to the business she helped lead to global dominance. While her current WWE status remains unclear, Stephanie hasn't been completely out of the spotlight. She was ringside in August for WWE SummerSlam 2024 and even kicked off Night 2 of WrestleMania 40 in April, proving that her presence still commands attention on the biggest stages. Fans are now wondering if her visit to WWE HQ signals a behind-the-scenes move, or if she's simply staying connected to the company's operations. Maybe she could just be there with Triple H. Neither Stephanie nor WWE has commented on her future involvement recently, leaving the door open to endless possibilities. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.